Once again, Donald Trump is testing out a new strategy with Iran, with this war now grinding into a 6th month. This comes as the Wall Street Journal reports that Trump had thought that the reopening of the strait was imminent. U.S. officials say he was prepared to declare victory and even floated the idea of walking away without a nuclear deal.
I think Mr. Trump has no options.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Headline: Oil surges with no Hormuz deal in sight. The Wall Street Journal. Headline: Trump thought opening the strait was imminent. Iran had other plans. Source: The Wall Street Journal. Headline: Trump willing to end war, declare victory on Iran with no nuclear deal, officials say. Report: The Wall Street Journal.
I did. I don't talk about strategy. Why should I talk strategy? Maybe, but we have three powerful strategies. We could just keep it alone, and they're going to fail. We could just keep, doing sort of just like nice and easy, relaxed. Like I said, I'm sort of negotiating. You see there.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
That's right. After nearly 6 months of desperately trying to control the story of his war with Iran, that story being that America is winning, Iran is devastated, a deal was just days away. Well, it turns out one of the most damaging versions of events is coming from a newspaper inside one of Trump's trusted circles. A political ally in Rupert Murdoch, his own media empire, seems to be turning on the president.
Trey, I don't get it. We hear there's friendly negotiations going on, but is Iran saying they're not talking at all?
Stop telling everybody what you're going to do and just do it. And then tell the American people, all of us who want to be supportive, what is our objective? What's the strategy? And then go execute.
What do we have? 96 days to the midterms. Iran's goal, they know our political process, is for Donald Trump's party to pay a political price.
And Ned, when you're looking at these polls that came out today, there's a huge dissatisfaction with the war in Iran. I mean, it is overwhelmingly considered a negative drag on the U.S. economy and just not worth it.
I don't think it's more sophisticated weapons. I think they got more sophisticated targets, and that's Russia. There's no way Russia is not giving them the targets to locate our assets in Egypt. Well, so it's the same drones, cheap drones, but they're more accurate in their targeting.
According to the Wall Street Journal, Donald Trump was privately prepared to do something that would have been almost unthinkable when this war began. End the war without getting a nuclear deal. The Journal reported over the weekend that Trump had been laying the groundwork to declare victory if Iran agreed to fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And privately, according to the Journal, Trump had floated to senior aides that he was prepared to walk without securing a nuclear agreement with Iran. I mean, let's just keep in mind the amount of times that Trump has insisted that Iran's nuclear program represented an intolerable threat coming after Obama's past agreement. And now he's reportedly willing to say, well, fine, forget the nuclear deal. Just open the strait so I can end this thing before the midterms.
Is this how you expected the second Trump term to go?
No, not at all. I hoped it was going to be so much better.
He also promised no new foreign wars. We're obviously in this war in Iran, which is why we're seeing the gas prices so high. What do you make of the president not keeping those campaign promises?
He just told us what we wanted to hear to vote him back in.
What would your message be to him about the economy right now, about prices, about day-to-day life?
I would tell him, you promised us you would lower prices, bring back what it used to be.
I was hoping that gas was going to go down so I could do something, You can't do anything with gas prices, and you just can't. You can't afford to breathe at this point.
Are you regretting your vote right now?
I have the past 2 years, yeah, I have. I'm actually not even voting the next time.
It's not like this is coming from some left-wing think tank or anti-Trump newsletter. At MSNBC, this is one of the crown jewels of the Murdoch media empire. And they're the ones coming after Trump full throttle. The headline's pretty blatant, right? Iranian demands disrupt Trump's plan to end the war. That's not exactly Trump on brink of historic victory, because the Journal's now reporting something Trump desperately does not want the public focusing on, that he appears to be searching for an exit, an off-ramp, because this thing has long since been dragged out and he's panicking ahead of the midterms.
Well, Peter, I know Donald Trump watches your show, and so I will say to him directly, Mr. Trump, you are the first president in American history to start and lose a war by yourself. You have made America more weak, more alone, and less respected. Congress has to take back the steering wheel from this impaired driver before we end up in a third quagmire in the Middle East of the 21st century. That starts with ending the escalation. He keeps on trying to escalate vertically, meaning more effects on target. Iran escalates horizontally, bringing in other regional players, other infrastructure assets into the fight. Iran is winning that escalation ratchet. We got to stop it. We got to negotiate transit through the Strait of Hormuz. Then we have to strengthen the Abraham Accords. But that is going to be a decadal process. It's not going to happen in this guy's term because he's too incompetent.
And he doesn't want to end it because Iran suddenly gave him everything he demanded, because they haven't. It's because the war has become an enormous political and strategic problem. And Iran, they know it. The Journal followed its Sunday report with another piece today asking a remarkable question, quote, why is Iran acting like it's holding all the cards in Hormuz talks? The paper reported in length that Iran does believe that they possess substantial leverage because Trump wants the conflict ended. They'll drag it out for as long as they want to. And the United States is reluctant to send ground troops, and American missile inventories are clearly under pressure, and the economic and political costs are rising as the midterms approach.
But they have to deal with reality. And so does the administration, because the Iranians are, and the Gulf allies are, and the Houthis now want in, and there are multiple problems. I'm uncomfortable talking about munitions because that should be classified. The Iranians, they've got a death wish. And when the president says he has patience, so do they. Like, they'll wait this out. They don't care about paying for their people. They don't care about their people at all.
You don't think that after going through months of this, having to go after Iran over and over again when it was billed as maybe just a few weeks, hasn't depleted our munitions, and that China isn't looking at Taiwan?
Trump sold this war to the American people, telling them that Iran would swiftly be overwhelmed by American power. But here we are almost 6 months later, and you have Fox News and the Wall Street Journal having to explain to viewers why Iran believes it has leverage over Donald Trump. That sounds to me like a complete and utter narrative collapse.
Hegseth clashed with President Trump over the munitions shortage that threatens the U.S. military operation in Iran. According to the Post, Trump vented at Hegseth, saying he thought the munitions issue had been fixed. They cite two people familiar with the exchange. Hegseth reportedly blamed his deputy at the Pentagon. The Post reports the exchange underscored Trump's increasing frustration with his defense secretary, who was one of the biggest early advocates for taking military action against Iran, convincing Trump it would be a quick and relatively easy win, according to multiple officials.
It's like, doesn't make sense, right?
Mr. President, back to the subject of Iran, sir. Can you give us any estimate of when you think the Strait of Hormuz will be part of
it's open now. We're taking a lot of shit. It's open now. Look, the only one that has control of the Strait of Hormuz right now is the United States Navy. We have a blockade that's been infallible. It's a steel wall. And we let people in that we want to let in, and those people come in, and they've been coming in and they're going out. So it's actually open now. We do not let them go into Iran. They're not admitted into the strait to go to Iran. But it's open for others. Now, a little bit complex because they will, on occasion, drop a mine, and we find the mines. You know, we've mine swept the entire strait, as you probably maybe heard, maybe you didn't hear. But we control the strait 100%. Now, can they make trouble? Yeah, they can make trouble. But they're broke. They have no money. You know, Iran is broke, totally broke. And they're not paying their soldiers. They have inflation of 300% as of last night. I heard 309%. So we'll see what happens. But they've been bad for, they say 47, it's actually 50 now. 47, they've been saying it for 3 years. But for 50 years, they've been the bully of the Middle East. What they've done is terrible. They've killed hundreds of thousands of people. They've killed people. They've wounded and maimed people with the legs, the arms. You know, with the roadside bomb is their bomb. They're very proud of it. And now they're paying a price. Thank you very much.
And it's why Trump's past claims, future claims on this war, they become increasingly difficult to maintain. He's so caught up in his own lies and flip-flopping that he's running out of options here. And it's why Americans have lost whatever faith they somehow had in him, resolving this thing that he started. The Journal's reporting increasingly describes a president looking for the outcome military force failed to deliver. But the war itself is becoming too large, too expensive, too prolonged, and too visible for one man to try and narrate into submission. And increasingly, even the conservative institutions that once helped Donald Trump do whatever he wanted and would coddle it and make it seem like it was the best decision ever, they're describing the war on their own terms. Fox is asking whether the strategy is even working. The Wall Street Journal, they're saying that Iran has a leverage. And for Donald Trump, that may be the clearest sign yet that he's completely losing control of the war's narrative.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.